We are officially in the second half of the year. Whoa. Can we take a moment to just let that sit with us for a second? Yeah, July. Hello, July. Hello to you all. And if you are a regular here, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Cassandra and I create videos on productivity, self-love, and the occasional travel and living abroad vlog. And these are monthly Plan With Me videos. Each month I share a video to review the previous month's goals and action steps, and then we plan the next month's goals and action steps together. So let's go into July's Plan With Me. I spent almost all of June traveling Vietnam with my family, and the Vietnam vlogs are coming, y'all. There's a lot of content that I need to sift through, but they are coming. I'm working on it. So if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, make sure that you are subscribed so that you can get notified when the Vietnam vlogs come out. Although I was traveling through almost all of June, I did have a couple goals that I wanted to keep track of. So let's get into the behind the scenes of how that looked and what I am doing for my mid-year reset now that I am back home from travel and actually won't be traveling much for the rest of the year. Okay, let's jump into my Notion June goals. If you remember from the previous June Plan With Me, I didn't really have that many goals, so let's just talk about what happened and what it looked like in June. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, we are in my April to June Q2 Notion template for goal tracking. So let's just scroll all the way down to June and take a look at what we had planned. All right, so for June, I really wanted, again, I don't know, I think I said this in the June Plan With Me, my goal was the Vietnam trip with my family, which happened, and when I was planning June, I knew it was going to happen, so I don't know if that counts as a goal, but really I wanted to create a lot of content to record, YouTube content and short form content. I wanted to push myself out of my comfort zone and try to pick up Vietnamese. I wanted to journal daily and document my trip. And then I just wanted to rest and enjoy, because how often do you get to go to Vietnam with every single person in your family, your immediate family, and get to travel the country from north to south in a 3.5 week time span? I don't know how often that is, but in my life, this was like a once in a lifetime trip and it was amazing. So the why behind my goal, let's just review this, is I wanted to enjoy this milestone trip with my family, reconnect with Vietnam and my culture, enjoy and learn about my heritage, and just take it all in. How this actually helps my life: this honors my heritage, ancestors, and my growth journey, and I get to document the entire trip for YouTube, my travel journal, and using that content to share stories and experiences. So before going to Vietnam, I had already created a list of content to record for YouTube and then just short form videos. I wanted to push myself out of my comfort zone and try to pick up Vietnamese. I got totally pushed out of my comfort zone, especially listening to different accents in Vietnam. My family's from the south of Vietnam, so we were not used to listening and hearing the northern Vietnamese accent, and that was intense, y'all. So I definitely pushed myself out of my comfort zone, and I also learned a couple new words in Vietnamese and was even able to learn Gen Z Vietnamese slang. That was fun. One of my favorite words is boy pho, which what my cousins told me is that it is how you say fuck boy in Vietnamese. If you are a fluent Vietnamese speaker, let me know in the comments if that is right. But that's what they told me. I also wanted to journal daily and document my trip. Okay, I did not journal daily. My parents planned like a super packed itinerary where we basically had maybe 1 to 2 hours of free time each day. And it was just go, go, go. I mean, it's a lot. If you want to see the north to the south, and basically we picked a region each week, we didn't get a lot of downtime. And then when we did get downtime, I was just like zonked. So I did not get to journal daily, but I did get to journal a bit. And then I did document my trip, at least on my camera. So I'm really excited to pull together a lot of the content that I recorded to share more Vietnam vlogs. So those are coming, y'all. I keep saying that, but they are coming. I'm like dreaming up scripts and the types of stories that I want to tell right now. So I'm really excited to pull those together for you. So I'm gonna still cross this off, even though I didn't journal daily. And rest and enjoy. I don't know if I like fully rested because it was kind of like an intense trip, but I definitely enjoyed. Like, I ate so much good Vietnamese food that I haven't eaten in so long. I saw like so many beautiful landscapes, experienced so many different things. I will have to save all of this for the Vietnam vlog, so that's all I will say for now. But I definitely enjoyed. I rested in a different way. I feel like I definitely healed my inner child, but again, I will save that story for when the Vietnam vlogs come out. Okay, the next goal that we have is remove myself from client work in TQP. And the why behind that goal is I want to move out of the day-to-day and in the weeds work and into more strategy and planning work with my clients. So this is really where I shine and where my creative energy gets replenished. And by removing myself, I also have more space to pursue other projects and endeavors. How this helps my life. So the less I am in the day-to-day of client work and in the business, the more mental space I have to show up and do all the great things that I want to be doing. So how did that actually look for me in June? Well, I feel like this is like a cheating goal because I actually paused all new projects until July, until I came back from my trip to actually start. So we just kicked off a project with a repeat client. We're helping them create a launch campaign for their new business. We just signed on a new client for copywriting for their landing page. So this is really exciting, and these are like small projects that I get to actually come in and do strategy work for, and where really my creative efforts and spark shine. So if you are looking for a marketing consultant to help with brand strategy, copywriting, or like a marketing plan, I have linked my business, the Quirky Pineapple Studio, a creative marketing and media agency, down below in the video description if you want to reach out and talk to us about working together on a marketing plan for you. And other than that, I wanted to get my personal website set up. LOLs, that did not happen. I don't know why I thought that I would be able to like select photos, links, email newsletter, and all that stuff. Like, if I didn't even have time to journal and I was just like totally zonked from just like traveling, I definitely did not have time to set up my personal website. I barely opened my laptop. I only opened it for specific client responses and maybe just like, I don't know, checking into my flights. But other than that, my laptop stayed closed. So yeah, we're gonna have to move this into July, this personal website. I think I wanted to add things to do, but I need to learn that I do not need to add more things if something looks sparse, because I need to also take into account the energy and time that it takes me to do something, and also the energy and time that I actually have. More things on my plate does not mean that it gets better. Okay, so those are my June goals, and I would say I did pretty good for myself. How did I celebrate? Actually, Maria and I did go on a date day, and I did get new clothes, but specifically from Vietnam. I would say this is pretty good. Oh, this is a picture of Ha Long Bay, and I got video footage of that too, so I'm excited to share that with you all. Really, the images do not do it justice. Okay, so that was June. Let's go into July and what I've got planned for this upcoming month. Okay, let's get into July's goals, but before we do that, I wanted to show you all a whole new goal tracking template that I designed, basically because when I got home from Vietnam, I was like, I gotta get my shit together. Like, I need to get my life together. Like, this needs to happen. So let me show you that first, and then we'll jump into July's goals. And here we go. So this template was inspired by Chloe Shi's, I believe it's pronounced Shi. She's one of like my favorite creators on YouTube. She has a video called Starting Over at 30 and talks about a project, I think it's a project roadmap that she created for herself. So this template is inspired by that video. So welcome to my 2024 life strategy map. Yes, I created a template for my life strategy. This is only for the rest of this year, so it's not like all of my life. In it, I have my North Star, which is basically my mission, what I really feel called to do, which is to help people create more space and connections for themselves and the relationships in their lives through productivity, self-love, and travel, so they show up more intentionally, creatively, and joyfully. I feel really, really confident and good about that. And then here I also have my passions. So I just have this like front and center so I can return to it whenever I feel like lost or I've consumed other people's content too much and I'm getting shiny object syndrome. Another thing that I included here was my strengths. So here's like my unique value proposition as a creator and I think just as like a human being. I mean, I don't know if you can have a unique value proposition as a human being because you are just valuable and like, you know, exist as a human. So maybe just my unique value proposition as a creator. And then I've listed out here my knowledge, my skills, and what I can get paid for. I basically tried to ikigai my life because I was like, I really need to get my life together and yeah, figure this all out. So underneath that, I've added in my guiding principles and values. So these are just like my personal ones. These are more like my values that I want to guide everything that I do, all the decisions that I make, how I show up in the world. It says here, moving with intentionality, finding joy and creativity, honoring space and time, acting with love, and working in and for the community. And then once you click here, then I kind of describe a little bit about what each of these mean. And then on the other side, I actually just added in my values and what I want to be doing with my content and what I want to be doing with all the things in my life, really. And then down here are my second half of the year 2024 goals. So I've got immersed in Spanish life, creator income, buying our first house. To be honest, for the people who have bought a home before, I know that probably by the end of the year, we will not be buying our first house just because like that is wild. But I want to think about this for the next year. So I'm kind of trying to keep this front and center to always remind myself to save money. The next is grow as a storyteller, build and launch the product-based business. I am almost ready to share that with you all. It is happening, y'all. We got back the brand photos, so website is coming and so are the social media channels. And then I want to expand with community. Basically, I want to build and launch an impact project, and what that looks like, I'm not totally sure, but we're working on it. So those are the second half goals, and then I'm using this as kind of like the starting point for everything that I want to be doing for the second half of the year and returning to this specific template to review my goals, review my strengths, review the guiding principles and values that I have, and kind of just have it in one hub. So then if I feel lost or feel discouraged or anything like that, I can return to this to remind myself of the goals and why I'm doing what I'm doing and how it will actually help my life. So that's that. I'm not gonna go too deep into like these specific goals because they're kind of more like big picture overviews of everything that I want to accomplish by the end of the year. So what I am going to do is go into my July goal setting planner now, because this is where I'm breaking it down month by month to see how I can actually take these action steps to reach my goals. So let's go into that now. Okay, jumping back into July, here is the Q3 setup. So we've got July, August, and September. I have moved my goals from the like large tracker that I have for the yearly overview into the third quarter, and I've already arranged them by business, personal, and the month to tackle. Some of these are, we'll see, because I think I have to like reevaluate my time again. I feel like I say that a lot. Is that good or bad? Anyways, going into July, so here are my 3 main goals for this month. The first one is to launch my personal website. The second goal is to get shit done with YouTube. And then the third goal is to show up locally. So let's dive into this first one, launch my personal website. If you have been watching my Plan With Me videos for the past, I don't know, couple months, I talk about the why behind my goal and how this helps, and this has not changed. And then I have remade the action steps to reach each goal. So the website copy is almost done. I need to select my brand photos, pull together testimonials, get my podcast player, and then figure out a booking link, and then potentially create an email newsletter for myself. So I know everything that I need to be doing for my personal website. I'm really excited for this. I think it's gonna be really good. The second one is to get shit done with YouTube. Again, this is just like the same why and how this helped my life from the previous months. So these are that. And then the action steps to reach this goal. So these are more, I actually think that this is a like YouTube posting strategy, not really like action steps, but I want to publish 2 times videos a week. We're on it. Like, I am working on it, y'all. I want to publish 3 reels a week or 3 short form videos a week. I want to also do 3 affiliate promotion videos a month. And I want to make 5 YouTube friends and to create a small community. And then I want to also research and pitch brands for sponsorship collabs and events. So those are my action steps to reach my YouTube goal. Then the last goal that I have is to show up locally. And this one I haven't shared before. So the why behind my goal is I want to make a local community in Toledo. I want to be part of community initiatives, and I want to have more close friends here. How this helps my life, I want to feel basically less lonely and isolated, like living abroad, and also working for myself and working from home. I realized that I, 1, need to get out of the house more, 2, like actively put myself into situations where I can meet people, and 3, I feel very lonely and isolated some days. So I need to, not I need to, but I really want to put myself out there more and create a local community here. So I want to take part in politics, at least what I can, because I can't vote right now in Spain. And I want to show up to make the city better, and I want to contribute to society. Like, I want to be an active participant to make my neighborhood like a great place to live. So that's that. The action steps to reach this goal. This is more like also things that I need to be doing because I want to take my Spanish exam in September and also my driver's license. So I want to read 1 Spanish book in July, study 1 hour for my Spanish exam, basically writing, take 5 practice driving tests every day. I want to email Vecinos, which is our local newspaper here, to join and be part of the community so I can contribute. And then I want to hang out with friends in Toledo. Like, I haven't seen my friends in a whole month. I want to hang out with them more, do crafty things, and all of that. So those are all of my goals for July. I feel like they're very doable, very manageable. They're not like too intense. Maybe the YouTube one, but I feel like I built up a new system, and we're working on all of the things, like we're building up on all of the foundation that I set up previously before traveling to make this happen. So I feel good about this. What are your goals for July? Let me know in the comments what your goals are and what are some of the action steps that you are taking to reach them. Okay, now that we've done July goals, let's go into my bullet journal to review all of that. Now that we've looked at Notion and the big picture of my goals and what I want to accomplish for the rest of the year, and basically my main priorities and focus, we are going into my bullet journal. So bullet journal, travel journal. For June, if you watched the June plan with me, then you know that instead of bringing my bullet journal to Vietnam, I decided to bring a travel journal. So I created a little June dashboard in my travel journal to track like the goals and the habits that I wanted to really accomplish over June. Maybe not goals, more habits. So the habits that I wanted to track were movement, studying for my driver's license, and then my nighttime routine. And I will be honest, you all, as you can see here, if my camera will focus, there it goes. That studying habit tracker, yeah, it's pretty empty. I did study for let's see if I can focus it. I studied for one day, which was the day that I was flying to Vietnam. I was waiting in the airport and I decided to study for my driver's license. And then other than that, basically all of June, I did not study for my driver's license. It was, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I feel like anything I will say is basically going to be an excuse. So I just won't say anything. I started tracking a little bit of movement because we were walking a lot. We like did a few hiking things. I also was tracking my nighttime routine. But then after I think like a week of travel, I got so tired from just like the itinerary that we had and moving from place to place and maybe having like 3 or 4 activities in one day. Normally I'm like a 2 activity type person in one day. Like I work and then I do something at night, or maybe I do like one thing in the morning and then I do something in the evening. But putting in like 3 to 4 activities in one like day, I felt it was like a lot. So I just did not have the energy to track anything else. I tried to track the cities and places that we visited, so I wrote it all down so I would not forget. And then I didn't even put a quote of the month. And what I did do was I did read. So yay to that. I read actually 2 books in June. The first book was the book that I shared in the June plan with me, which was The Mountains Sing. Y'all, like, how do I even begin to describe that book? That book was so good. It like touched my soul. I cried reading that book. It like opened up an entirely new concept of what Vietnam is and was to me, and highly recommend reading The Mountains Sing, and thank you Krista for that recommendation. Before I share about the second book that I read, let me just share a little bit more about The Mountains Sing. So everything that I have pretty much read and consumed about Vietnam since I am born and raised in the United States was from a Western point of view, and I have never really read anything about the Vietnam War from a Vietnamese person's point of view. Let me preface that again by saying, like, I've never read anything about the Vietnam War from a Northern Vietnamese person's point of view, and mostly from Vietnamese people who left the country and came to the United States. Basically my parents' story. So reading that book like really opened my eyes to what the war did and just like the impacts of the war. And although my family is from South Vietnam, it was just like, whoa, I don't know how to describe it, y'all. But I just highly recommend the book if you want a different perspective on the Vietnam War and the impacts of war and how that carries generationally. That is all I will say, no spoilers here. The second book that I read was, thanks to my youngest sister, Adriana, for actually bringing the book and sharing it with me, was the Joy Luck Club. So it was my first time reading the book and also my first time reading that any work from that author, and I highly recommend that book too. It is, I think, an older book, maybe from the 50s, 60s, or later. I should probably look this up, so I will add that in post-editing. But the book was really, really good. It recounts the stories of 3 Chinese women, 4, and their 4 daughters, who are Chinese American. And it just kind of like, although there were certain things about the story that I could relate to, I felt like I was reading kind of like what my mom's story could have been like with my grandma, if like they talked about it. But it was also really eye-opening as well, and it just really made me appreciate language, and also made me realize how much of language and history, experiences, wisdoms, knowledge, traditions kind of get lost because of immigration, and especially because of forced immigration and war. And that just kind of like made me realize, because I didn't have like really great Vietnamese growing up, I ended up missing out on a lot of information and stories, knowledge traditions, customs, whatever from my grandparents, because I just didn't have that language to talk to them, since they kind of spoke English and I spoke more English, but I kind of spoke Vietnamese and they spoke mostly Vietnamese. So if you haven't read that book yet, I also highly recommend to read The Joy Luck Club. That's pretty much it for June. Honestly, I wish I could tell you more things that I tracked in my journal, but I did not track anything really. I tried to in the beginning and then it just kind of all went to shit, so later on. If you are here and want to see the rest of the travel journal spreads, I will be making a separate video to share that, and we'll be showing everything that I drew and all of the stuff that I decided to track. Not track, but maybe kind of like, what is the word? Track, memorize, not memorize, commemorate? If you know the word that I'm trying to say, let me know in the comments below. But other than that, that's it for June in my bullet/travel journal. Let's go into July's bullet journal, which is back to kind of like my normal programming and back to the regular dashboards that I have. Let's get into my bullet journal and I'll show you my July spread. If you noticed, this is a new bullet journal because I started a new bullet journal. If you want to see the mid-year bullet journal setup, then click somewhere here. I will link that for you to watch and also in the video description link. But I love this journal. It is a soft cover. My other one was a hard cover and I really just like the colorway. Like this purple is really pretty with the pops of orange. But anyways, that's not what the point of this video is. So let's get into my July spread. So the theme that I went with for July is kind of like a hippie groovy theme. Not totally sure why I decided that, but I was like, why not? And I added in some cute washi tape here, and they are little mushrooms. I think they're so cute. And then let's get into the dashboard. So the three main things that I want to do in July is to launch my website. I already said that in the Notion portion of this video. I want to stick with my YouTube schedule, and I also want to really dedicate the time to study for my Spanish driver's license and also my Spanish exam coming up in September. So those are the three things that I'm like, let's make this shit happen. Books to read. So I am still trying to finish Unreasonable Hospitality. I swear, if I don't finish this book in July, I'm gonna be sad. Not only sad, but it's just gonna like occupy space. I don't know if you all are one of those people who like finish books even though you don't like them. I will try to push myself to finish books even though I don't like them for the act of like closure and completing things. So I think I'm almost done with that book. I will let you all know how it goes. The storytelling, from what I read a little bit in June, is getting a little bit better, but I don't know. Something about that book, I thought I would like it more, but it's not like engaging for me. The other book that I want to read in July is this book right here, Sapiens. This book has been on my bookshelf for years. It is in Spanish. There's an English version as well. And I bought the Spanish version because I was like, I'm gonna challenge myself and try to read in Spanish. And because this book is thick, really thick, it's taking me a while to read it, but I do want to finish it because it actually is really interesting, and this is like one of my ways that I'll be studying for my Spanish exam, is to read a book like this for comprehension and to challenge myself with like Spanish vocabulary and just understanding like texts like this. So those are the two books that I'll be reading for July. And what I am tracking for July, I changed it up. So previously I have tracked, I think, with my movement, so exercising and moving my body every day, my nighttime routine, and studying for my driver's license. And I feel like because I was tracking that for the past 6 months, I've built up a really good habit for all of those things now. Maybe not the studying part, but at least a habit for moving my body. I have a routine for that, my habit for my nighttime routine. So I built up all of that, and I want to try and track different things since my goals and my priorities for the second half of the year are a little bit different. So here's what I'm tracking for July. We have reading in Spanish because I want to make sure that I am doing something to study for my Spanish exam and make sure that my comprehension is like top notch. Since coming back from Vietnam, I feel like my brain is a little bit like confused with English, Vietnamese, and Spanish, so we're gonna try and bring back the Spanish. Then it is my driver's license, so taking tests every single day. And then the last one is to do something crafty. So I want to have a crafty girl summer and just have fun. I don't know, do things that like bring me joy and do stuff with my hands again. So that's what I'll be tracking for July. I haven't filled this portion out yet, but here I'm going to probably put a word of the year and what that word means to me. I need to fill out the rest of my master to-do list, and these are all the important things I have so far, which is not that much, so I'll take it. Something different for this month as well is, I love this spread, my crafty summer bucket list. So I don't think it was June since I was traveling, but in May I think I made a YouTube planner or like a calendar, and I realized that I just can't do that in analog. I need that in digital so that I can also like script my videos and kind of move around what I will be publishing if I can't edit something on time, or if something just needs a little more time for editing and all of that stuff. So we switched it up and I decided to make a crafty bucket list. I've already listed out some craft ideas that I want to do here and here. And then I also forced myself to use stickers because I have sticker anxiety, and I really want to use the stickers that I have because I feel like I'm just hoarding all of my stickers. So some of the things that I plan on doing during my crafty summer bucket list is to make beaded keychains. I want to embroider clothes. I also want to make clay bookmarks and maybe some mini magnets, fabric covered notebooks. I want to make affirmation cards, like my own affirmation cards, and then maybe friendship bracelets. Like, how fun is this? I'm really excited for this. I think having this front and center is going to just remind me to carve out time to do things like this, and also find friends to actually do this with if they want to do it too, or just kind of do it myself. Why not? And that's really it for July. I am really excited about my spread. It's good to be back in my bullet journal, like using my travel journal as a bullet journal. Like, it worked because I was traveling, but I did not really like it. So I am really happy to be back in the bullet journal and to have my dashboards again and my spreads again, and then have my weekly spreads to track like what I need to be focusing on and what I'm doing, the events that I've got planned. I need all of this to just stay organized and feel maybe I'm a control freak. To feel in control of what I am doing with my life. Is that the Virgo moon talking? I don't know. If you have a bullet journal and you also created your July spreads, what theme did you have for July? Let me know in the comments below. right, y'all, that is all I've got for July plan with me. I honestly did not expect that my year would, at least the first half of my year, would be filled with so much travel. I honestly feel like I have been, I don't know if it's like a car, but I've kind of been like, like for the past 6 months, because I feel like I was hosting family in January up until the end of January, traveled for February, traveled a lot for March, stayed here in April in Spain, traveled a lot in May, then traveled all of June, and now I'm like finally still. And while the travel has been awesome and I don't regret any of the trips that I took, it has kind of made like trying to move forward with my goals kind of like harder, because it's just like start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. Because I feel like I would start and get really good at like the routine, setting up my systems, setting up habits, feeling very like grounded, setting up a whole foundation for myself. And then when it was time to like build on that foundation, I left for a trip or I did something or life happened. And now that I am finally back in Spain and like back to my regular routine, I feel like I can finally have some stillness for myself and really build like actually without any disruption on top of the foundations I laid for myself for the first half of the year. Anyways, that is my mid-year reset update and my July goals. What are your goals for July? And also let me know if you have ever felt the sensation of like like starting and then stopping and not being able to like progress. I feel like it's not a just me thing. I feel like other people probably have had to experience that. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, stay fierce, fam. Ciao!